What's going on, everyone? Scotty White, World Combat Sports, back in the Mecca of boxing. I'm with the one and only undefeated welterweight Jahi Tucker in the building. How you feeling, man?
I'm chilling, man. Good looking, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. You know what it is, man. You are a welterweight sensation on the rise, right? And this particular weekend, you head in there for your 8th professional fight.
Yeah.
Now, talking about your last 2 fights, you fought some experienced dudes. You fought Akeem Black, Tracy Magruder, and now you're going in on your 3rd fight in 2022, man.
Yeah.
How you feeling as a fighter right now?
And as a fighter, man, I'm feeling good, man. I really feel like I'm developing, and thank you for Top Rank, thank to J Prince. You know, they moving me well and really helped me hone my skills, getting closer and closer to that championship.
How do you stay focused, man? You know, obviously you're on a track to possibly fight 5 or 6 times this year. But the one important thing, you keep on winning. How do you stay focused in the gym and continue to get better?
The goal, no matter how many fights I win, you know, the goal ain't complete until it's complete. My goal is to be world champion, one of the greatest fighters ever. So that's the thing that motivates me every day. And every fight, I know every time I gotta go in there, show out and tighten up wherever I gotta tighten up.
I know you was talking to me earlier, right, about your performance. You know, it wasn't a bad performance you were speaking on, but you were just speaking about the experience of going the distance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Putting in rounds. How important is that for boxers? Because sometimes you hear boxers talk about putting in rounds.
Putting those rounds is very important, you know, because you don't want to be in a real important fight and don't have that experience to help you, you know. And of course, you can do it without the experience of having done a long amount of rounds, you know. But it's always great to have it because experience is the best teacher every time. And whatever you don't know beforehand, you definitely go learn afterwards. So you rather learn it earlier rather than later.
Right now, you know, you're 19 years old, young in the game, but yet, you know, your name is buzzing out there. Yeah. They see you in a welterweight division because it's a lot of big names in the welterweight division. Yeah. So you as a fighter, do you feel that pressure yet? Not just from, I'm not saying your opposition, but from the commentary. Have you felt that pressure yet?
Nah, the commentary, you know, they always have something to say, you feel me? A lot of times it's good, a lot of times it's bad. So they also, when it comes to the commentary, I always say nobody else is in the ring, you know? And the main thing is I gotta deal with this guy and make sure I don't get hurt, you know? And whatever you do, make sure you don't get hurt and win the fight. You make sure you don't get hurt and you win the fight by any means necessary, you feel me?
Well, I can say that, Jahi, you seem to be able to hold it together. You know, since your debut, you fought on TV. And ever since then, like I tell you, you continue to improve each and every fight. Now you're stepping in there with DeAndre Smith, a fighter out of Decatur, Georgia. You know, what's a little something you know about him?
DeAndre Smith, you know, 11-1 definitely means he knows what he's doing. You don't get 11-1 by not knowing what you're doing. 6 foot, nice and tall. I look at this as a nice opponent to get underneath my belt and make sure I beat him well, and make sure I don't overlook him. Cause like I said, he's 11-1. You don't do that by not doing anything. So just making sure I go in there and handle business.
Yeah, this is a fight, you know, that everybody's talking about, you know, especially, you know, down there in Georgia, because DeAndre, like you said, he has experience. He just came off a win. Yeah. He had a unanimous decision win. And, you know, your last fight, you come off a UD win. So heading into this fight right here, what is something that you feel that, as a fighter, you have to show up with this particular fight?
With this fight, man, I just gotta just pull up, you know? Any fight, I feel like, once I'm in there, I'm gonna make sure I win. Because the fighter that you seen yesterday ain't the same fighter you see today, being your opponent, you know? I could see him on camera from his last fight, and he could be a completely much improved fighter than this fight now. So I just gotta go in there and make sure that whatever he tries to do, I just shut him out. And make sure I go in there and put some pain in.
Though you're 19, you experienced 19-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So I saw the pictures out there. Look like you put on some muscle mass. What's going on with Jahi Tucker? You know, what's the training regime looking like, man?
Right now, we just been getting a lot smarter. You know, growing up and definitely developing into the pro ranks. Earlier in my career, we used to hit it hard. We still hit it hard now, but we used to really do video game type stuff. I'm talking about anywhere from 10 to 20 mile runs, 40 rounds on the pads, 20 rounds on the bag, 2,000 sit-ups, 4,000 sit-ups, 2,000 push-ups, 2,000 squats, you know, and this is all in one day, I'm telling you, you feel me? a Bruce Lee regimen on the workout, on the weightlifting, and this is all in one day. We used to do that every single day with 2 days on rest. You know, hour swims, and it all just helped develop you and helped develop that mindset that I have now, and helped me really hone my skills. And now that we're in the pro ranks, so we climbing up there slowly but surely. It's about being smarter and doing what's best for my body and making sure you stay in shape and make sure when it's fight time, you're at your peak.
And that's what I mean, man. Just like you just said, you know, looking out for your body, training smarter, and then, you know, going in there and performing and keep on winning.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself in such a short period of time with that maturity, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Top Rank looking at you, of course. They keep giving you the fights. But do you find out you are absolutely mature in each and every fight?
Every trip, you know, like I said, experience is the best teacher. And as much as I know I'm the best fighter in the world, I'm 17, 18, 19. I'm not going to know everything. And I know I'm not going to know everything. So I just be very eager a lot of the times to get in the ring and just go in there and get that love from the fans, give them a good show, get that experience first and foremost, and get that win, the biggest thing of it all.
Speak about you know, getting the win. You're attached to a division that's getting a lot of airplay right now.
Yeah.
The reason why they're getting a lot of airplay, you have Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford, two of the best right now. And we don't know if that fight is going to happen this year. But for you, Jahi Tucker, if you have the opportunity to face a top 15 out of the welterweight, do you have just two names that you want to face?
You just said them, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, you feel me? I told you guys already, I feel like I'm the best fighter in the world, and I'm not just saying that oozing confidence. I say that really meaning it, understanding the amount of work that I put in, understanding my versatility, you know, and that I can adapt to any situation, you know, and all those guys, all these guys in the top 15, all these up-and-coming guys with me, I honestly can't wait to see every last one of them.
There you have it. You know, when you know, you mentioned Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, and you being your age. How do you convince those people you're ready? I heard you say it long before now. You already mentioned that. That you want, you feel that they throw you a bone. You ready for that bone?
Hell yeah.
So for the naysayers is out there and saying, you know, why he's sitting up there calling out Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford? What do you have to say to them in response?
Well, history always repeats itself. You go back to the 60s, Ali, he was calling out Sonny Liston. And everybody was just like, yo, I heard everybody saying Sonny Liston go knock him out in 3 rounds. Knock him out in 3 rounds. And, you know, Ali was young, 20, 21, 22. So when I see that, and also I understand the amount of work that I put in, once I see that, I know there's nothing for me to really say. The work gonna speak for itself. Look at Teofimo. Teofimo was 23 when he fought Loma. I was one of the people who thought Teo was gonna lose. Came out there, youth don't mean nothing, you know? It's just all about what you do. Skills pay bills, and I think I got a lot of skills.
That's a good point, man. Teo was, you know, his father, you know, pretty much prognosticated that his son would be champion in 15 fights, which he was, and then in 16 fights, he stepped in there with Vasil Lomachenko and picked up the unified. You know, so I get what direction you're headed in. You know, I'm just curious to know when, you know, when I was speaking to your dad, I was curious to know what fight they're gonna decide to say, okay, cool. You know, I hear him on the video talking about he's ready. What fight is it gonna be? Because this your 8th one. I said I'm thinking around 10 or 11.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? They definitely gonna give you somebody that people start saying, okay.
I'm thinking the same thing, you know. And like I said, it's all about just staying composed, staying calm, and just staying ready. And don't get burned out. A lot of fighters, they get burned out. You feel me? They'll get to this point where I'm at in my career right now, and like it'll start gallivanting, and it'll start taking off, and then they're like, wait, hold on, I'm not ready for all this. And by then it's too late. You already stepped foot in the lion's den. So it's all about just staying composed and just understanding the moment and taking that moment in fully and grasping it and running away with the show.
Understanding the moment and processing it. Totally get it.
Word.
You know, you was a part of some history once again today. You had the opportunity at 19 years old. Man, I was in the service. I was just grinding out as a lower tier enlisted at 19 years old. Talk about, you know, you traveling around with the media, ESPN, you know, for Top Rank and getting that coverage. What were you able to take them?
I was able to take them to where I stay, you know, my hometown. I have a lot of different hometowns, but this is one of them, you know. Took him to Deer Park. I took him to Left Hook J, shout out Native Boxing Club. I took him to Brentwood Recreational Center. That's why I was headquarters for my training camps for like the last 4 or 5 years now, ever since I was an amateur. And really just took them around the island and let them really understand that it's a real community over there. And the community is really one of the biggest reasons why I go so hard, you know, because like you said, I'm 19, and it's a lot of kids that I see in the gym that I remember I was those kids aged 7, 8, 9, 10 in the gym, not really understanding or really grasping where I'd be in 10 years. You know, it's still hard for me to believe sometimes, but I got to take them to the rec, and they got to see all the kids training and putting in their work, and they really got to see a feel of what it's like to be in that predicament, you know?
Did they tell you when that would be, you know, aired so they can check it out? Do you know?
No. They said it will be, they're putting everything together. They're going to have the episode out sometime this week for a fact.
Okay, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
It's no secret. You know, your father's your trainer.
Yeah.
You know, what has he been able to implement to change the game? Because he's a very knowledgeable individual. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The way he communicate about you training as a boxer, it seems like you and him is in tune. Mm-hmm. And then when I see you split the ropes, I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat. I say, okay, let me see what they have new now. You know what I'm saying? What's been some conversations, you know, coming off your last fight and into this fight that you and your father's talked about?
My father, you know, one thing we have trust in each other. He trusts what I know I'm gonna do when I get in the ring, and I trust that he know what he gonna do, getting me ready for the fight, you know. And the main thing that we always talk about ever since the last fight is being smart and just understand, you know, and just not just being smart in the fight, because in the fight it's a fight. You gotta be instinctive. You gotta be smart, but more so even getting ready for the training camps and how we go about things, doing things more professionally, you know, and just working on our communication every day, you know, because like it says, father son, you know, and that goes wrong a lot of times with a lot of other fighters. So I'm thankful that my pops and me, we have a good relationship, and that continues to build.
That's awesome, man. You know, one thing he told me, he said y'all train like y'all going in there to fight a champion.
Yeah.
Each and every time. That's the mindset that y'all training for.
Yeah.
Do you think, you know, fighters this day and time, I know you can't speak for fighters, but do you think that bleeds over in the mind of a lot of fighters across the board? Or you just have to be cut from that cloth?
It's a lot of guys, you know. There's definitely a lot of guys who out there who are cut from that cloth. But like you said, man, it's not a lot of fighters who are, especially a lot of the big fighters, they're not like that. They just in it for the business aspect, which is cool too. Floyd Mayweather, he opened up a whole different portal. He was cut from that cloth, understanding, yo, I want to be great. The money just came with it. And a lot of people seen the money side and was like, yo, I like the money. So I can't get mad at them for that. But me, what makes me different is like, I understand the game and the amount of respect that I have for the sport and all the people who came before me, you feel me? Talking about from like back in the 1900s, all the way up to now, all these guys, you know, and the amount of work that it really took for all these guys to do it. And to even be able to say that I'm able to be in the same position that some of these guys was in at this young of an age, that a lot of them were not in at this young of an age. And it's crazy to even say. So I remain humble at every given moment. And like we said, we train for a world championship. Testament to what I said before, like the goal ain't complete till it's complete.
Well said, well said. I like that. Let me ask you about a historic fight that just took place in the 135-pound division. Pretty much everybody that follows social media understand, you know, what transpired leading up to that point. And, you know, Devin Haney, George Kambosos took place in Australia. Mm-hmm. You watching that fight, you know, the fundamentals were shown with Devin Haney. Yeah. He was implementing the jab, very punctual and authoritative during that fight. What was your assessment?
The same thing, you know. He was just he's very talented. And that jab, he's very high ring IQ. And it goes to show you don't got to knock everybody out, you know. A lot of fighters, and a lot of fans, not even the fighters, a lot of fans get the misconception of, you know, if you don't knock the guy out, you did all right, but you didn't really do that good. But they don't understand this, that boxing is a true art form, you know. All fighting is true art form. That's what I call mixed martial arts. It's art. And what Devin Haney put on was a display, you know, and it was a historic display because he's one of the first lightweight undisputed champion since the thing they said Pernell Whitaker. That's huge. Pernell Whitaker is an all-time great. So to even be mentioned up there, bro, it's just great to hear. So congrats.
Yeah, in the four-belt era, you know.
Yeah,
He's the first in the four-belt era, and then, you
Yeah.
know, he has everything, the ring, the lineal, all that.
Yeah.
So would you want, as a fighter, would you want to see him go in there and rematch Kambosos, or would you like to see him fight somebody else in the lightweight division?
I mean, one thing I like about Kambosos is that he got the heart, and he said himself he wants to go back in there. In all logicalness, though, I think the result will be the same. You know, of course, Kambosos says, "Yo, we're fighters. We're gonna want to get back in there. You know, we're gonna want to go crack it again." So if they make that deal happen, you know, but as a fan perspective, I don't think that fight should happen again. I think Tank should go and fight. Not Tank. I think Haney should go and fight Tank right now. Or even when Lomachenko comes back, you know, he's over there doing his thing in Ukraine, praise to Ukraine. But when he goes over there and he comes back over here, I think that's a fight that definitely could happen. But really and truly, the biggest fight right now is Haney and Tank.
Yeah, Haney and Tank, man. A lot of people was calling for that.
Yeah.
Even though your promoter, you know, pretty much said he would like to make Lomachenko and Devin Haney, Vasyl Lomachenko and Devin Haney.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, they're campaigning in the same division.
Yeah.
And, you know, Gervonta's out there, Devin Haney and Vasyl Lomachenko. So either way, all three fighters have big names. And then you have, you know, Ryan Garcia lingering out there for whatever he's trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Last question, man. You know, when it comes down to a fight that you might want to see coming up, no matter the division, who would those two individuals be?
That's not a rematch?
It doesn't matter.
I'm really looking forward to this fight on my card. On usually I don't really stay for the after fights and stuff, but this fight I'm gonna stay. Joe Smith, Better Beef. I feel like the narrative behind this fight is much bigger than just undisputed. You feel me? You got Joe Smith, the hardworking American, the regular guy who's just an undoubtable character and heart. You feel me? Versus this Russian monster. It's like the Rocky movie. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And I feel like this fight is really gonna be one of the greatest light heavyweight fights ever. Because both of these guys is real strong. Both of these guys got big hearts, you know, and they both come in to fight, and they both representing where they from, and they trying to protect their belt. So it's gonna be a good one.
It is, man. I agree. The common man, you know, Joe Smith proved, man, he's that guy.
Yeah.
A lot of people get behind him because he does go in there and fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His work ethic and everything. And then you talk about Welterweights, the way he broke down Marcus Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a beast, man. He shows it each and every time. So, yeah, I look forward to the main event. It's for, you know, Welterweights, he's the WBC and the IBF champion, and then Joe Smith, the WBO. So it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think the winner of that fight are they gonna unify at light heavyweight? You know, with Dimitri Bivol?
All right. See, that's where it gets tricky now. Because remember, Bivol just fought Canelo, okay?
Correct.
Now, apparently Canelo and his camp said we're going to fight Triple G first, and then we're going to rematch with Bivol. So now it would all be, and Bivol just fought, so he has a whole year now to hold the belt, you know? But now with Canelo, it all depends on how much Bivol really wants that Canelo fight. Because we could see this, Canelo could fight Triple G, beat Triple G, okay, fight Bivol, say he beats Bivol, you know? Now it's a whole different thing. Or Bivol could just say, all right, Canelo, put you on pause, fight one of these guys, and lose his belt. And then now we got a whole different conversation, you know?
So you know if Canelo fight Bivol again, it's going to be for the WBA title. So being that we about to see the unified this week, do you even think out of those two guys, Canelo will fare any different than he did with a bigger Bivol if he was to fight either Welterweights or Smith?
Well, to be honest, no. At all, no. I feel like because, the issue with Canelo and these bigger guys is just fighting styles, you know? Usually Canelo's the bigger guy, stronger guy. So a lot of these guys, like Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, you know, he's hitting them on their arms, on their shoulders, you know? He's landing these big, nice body shots, and it's affecting them more. But these bigger guys, it's not really affecting them as much, you know? You're lighter than me, you're smaller than me, so I'm going to take those. You've seen Bivol, he caught a lot of the shots where you've seen, I forgot who it was. I think it was Liam Smith or somebody. Caleb Smith. His arms swole up.
Had a knot on it.
Yeah. Bivol took that and came back with like 4, 5, 6 shots. So I feel like Canelo's best bet is to just stay at 68. But you never know, man. You got dudes who are out here chasing greatness, and I never doubt a man who's really chasing greatness because he'll go by any lengths necessary to accomplish his mission.
Jahi Tucker goes down in Hulu Theater.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Your A Professional Fight.
Yeah.
For those of you who's tuned in, you heard it first from the one and only. Follow him on IG, who is Jahi Tucker. Man, he's a rising sensation in the welterweight division. Pay attention. Any words to your fans out there, Jahi?
And shout out World Combat Sports, you know. Shout out everybody back home. Shout out my mom. Shout out my family. Shout out J-Per. Shout out Top Rank Boxing. You know, I got a big show for y'all June 18th. Massacre Garden, like he said, ESPN Plus. Make sure y'all tune in. Y'all don't want to miss it.
There it is. Y'all be tuned. Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? Jahi Tucker's on deck this weekend.
Word.
It's always a pleasure, that champ.
Likewise.
Appreciate you allowing me to interview you once again.
Likewise. Love you.
Best wishes out there.